what it was like to run one of the world's biggest oil inventory companies over a couple of months ago when people literally thought every oil inventory facility in the world, including yours, was going to be full, and oil prices in the United States went negative. What was that like from the C-suite?
Well, good morning, Brian. I must say it was an exciting time. I think we've seen unprecedented volatility in the oil price. If you look at it even historically, I think just to remind people, in the last 6 months, we went from $70 per barrel to about $20 per barrel mid-March. And we're back sort of at a semi-equilibrium at $45 per barrel now. I think what we've seen is that because of the contango that happened, we've seen really every trader and company trying to find storage to play the volatility and play that game. So it's been a very exciting times for a company like Vopak.
Well, you're putting a rosy face on it. I will say that, Ilko, because there was a real time, at least here in the United States, less so in Europe, I get it, but you've got Long Beach and Los Angeles, Savannah, Georgia, and Houston, where people thought we were days or maybe even hours in some cases away from having nowhere to put oil. How severe was the inventory problem, back in April and March?
Well, I think if you take an American point of view, I think the situation was severe because a lot of contracts expired at the term markets. So people needed really a very instantaneous position to store oil. I think if you look at it from a global perspective, it's been less hectic in that sense. And I think markets have adjusted accordingly. That's why we've seen a bit of the equilibrium. But I have to caution people because I don't think the volatility has passed yet. If we take a view at, for instance, the demand side, I think there's a lot of unclarity how COVID will last, how long COVID will last, whether we will find an opportunity to quell the further developments. And as such, the question is really, will people use oil again to the old normal? Will we start flying again? Will we start driving again? And then again, the second question is on the supply side, is how will OPEC Plus react to that? And also in the United States, particularly, how will the shale producers respond? So I think the whole mix on both supply and demand is such that there's so much uncertainty that I would expect in the next quarters we'll see a bit of volatility come back again.
You think so? And one of the good things about having you on, Ilko, is that you guys are kind of a leading indicator. Listen, you have 6 massive facilities in China, including the biggest one, I think one of the biggest ones in China, in Haitang. What are you seeing from Chinese demand right now?
Well, Chinese demand has picked up, but not to its old demand levels yet. Interesting, what we've seen in the last few months is particularly when the price of oil was low and the availability of tankage in the Chinese markets, the Chinese have been buying tremendous amount of volume in the last few months, which again, now they've filled up the tanks, they can take a slightly easier approach to buying in current markets. So it's been a very interesting period, as I mentioned, in the last few months.
I know you issued about $500 million in U.S. dollar-backed debt, Ilko. What do you plan to do with that money? Are you going to invest? Are you going to grow in the United States and around the world?
Yeah, we look at the future with confidence. We had a good earnings seasons. We were 4% up against last year. Unfortunately, we missed a bit of earnings because of the delay of growth projects. But we are investing momentarily $500 million in growth across the different continents. And not only in oil, but we're investing equally now in LNG and in gas. We're investing in chemicals. We're investing in industrial capabilities. So actually, we look towards the future with a bit of confidence because we've taken sufficient steps in rationalizing our portfolio in the previous years. So we look to the future with confidence.